welcome Mario Rodriguez.
Hola, Universe. What about that keynote? Great announcements. It's all about developer choice and developer experience. My name is Mario Rodriguez, and I'm GitHub Chief Product Officer. I spent my entire career building software products and working in DevTools for over the last 20 years. 6 at GitHub, over 20 years in DevTools. I love what I do for a living. It really gets me excited. I explain it to my kids and my wife as, you know what, humanity already invented the wheel and fire. Everything we're gonna be doing here from this point onward is actually gonna be powered by software. So on my limited time on Earth, if I could give you all the best developer tools in the market, that's what gets me out of bed. So that person that basically, who thought, what would make DevTools better? More DevTools. So let's keep this going, and they're still letting me do it. So I want to take you down memory lane for a minute. Just look at this. Many of you will probably recognize it. This is from GitHub Universe 2016. And it's the GitHub flow. And back then, the core of the GitHub platform. This may look simple to us now, but it has incredible taste, and it was highly innovative for its time. Since 2018, we have been expanding GitHub's ability to support you across the entire end-to-end software development lifecycle. This is the DevSecOps Infinity Loop. And since 2018, we have been expanding, right? We added GitHub Actions. We bought 2 companies, Dependable and Semo, and we gave you GitHub Advanced Security. And we kept going with workspaces and a small little product called GitHub Copilot. And that brings us to today. Over the last 2 years, we've been transforming that inner loop of the developer into an AI-native platform. You see it there, ideate. You saw brainstorming workspace today, plan with issues and projects, code with workspace multi-edit, how about that? And multi-modal as well, so I probably missed one in there. Workspace, Copilot, Autofix, validate, and then of course all the way to production. By making Copilot ubiquitous throughout the developer lifecycle, we're enabling every developer to build, release, scale, and secure software from an initial idea all the way to production. And we're doing it at a scale of millions of developers, over 100 million of developers. So in this session, we're going to share 3 real-life examples on how Copilot Power Platform is fundamentally transforming the way that we build software, the way that you build software. So let's get into it. So I love to code, but these days it's harder and harder to find the time. And when I do have time or free time, I spend it with my family. This is them at Halloween. You can see my little one there is Lexa, that's Tia, that's my wife. This year is a different, we're kind of going to go a different take, but that was last year. And like any good 7 and 9 years old, they love playing games, especially card games. They also love testing the laws of physics when things don't go their way. So if the little one loses, he throws the cards at the big ones. So we want to keep them kind of entertained at any point in time. So a few months ago, I decided to teach my game-loving girls how to play poker for a couple of reasons. One, poker is fun. It's a very fun game. But more importantly, I wanted them to learn about probability and luck. I don't know about you, but my girls learn by doing, so I wanted to find an interactive application that was safe for them to play. Unfortunately, this is what happens when I ended up searching for such a thing. It has a bunch of night-inducing ads popping up like this. This is not what I want my girls being exposed to. So what do you do if you're a developer? Well, you create it. So that's what we decided to do. And let me walk you then through what we built together. So the first one, and yes, you can see I'm going to take my glasses for a second. And what you're seeing over here, I'm going to do a prompt, and I'm going to do it to O1 preview. And what I'm asking it to do is, you're an expert web developer. Can you please build a fully playable game of 5-card draw? Because that's the first thing that I wanted to explain to them. So this is going to take a little bit to actually go and think. So I am going to go here, and you recognize this. This is GitHub Spark. I love GitHub Spark. So I'll tell you two stories then. Number one is I wanted to do one instead of Minesweeper. I wanted to do Pumpkin Sweeper, but instead of when you hit a mine and it actually explodes, my little one didn't like that. She's like, you have to remix that. So we're going to find pumpkins. Okay, you're going to help me out. So it's probably one here, right, team? Okay. Oh, no, it's here. Woohoo, we found one. So what's the next one? You think here? Probably. There you go. So, you could play this. It's pretty fun overall. So this is the power of Spark. Like, this doesn't exist out there. Like, you cannot go and get a professional developer to buy this. And it's very easy then for me just to create and have this experience with my daughters. I'll give you another one overall. So let's do, as an example, this is one. So my nephew woke up and it's like, Daddy, I want to watch TV. It was a Sunday morning. And I'm like, no, you're not watching TV the first thing that you wake up. So what about we actually do something instructional first? And she's like, what is it? Well, let's just build a simple math game and try to see what happens. And if you actually get a score of 50, then you can watch TV after that. So I built her this one. So the answer to this is what? 62. There you go. We're doing great, team. What about this one? 8. And then she was just playing this all over time and time again. She got to 50, and then she actually went outside and played with some friends. So we avoided the TV altogether. Let's go back into Visual Studio Code. And you can see over here already that it has given me that game. So one thing that I do want to highlight is this. Not only is it giving me the code, but it actually gives me the steps, like create, define, and in JavaScript. So this is very instructional for my daughter as well. As she's, not only does she get in the code, but she's getting the steps to create it. It's kind of like pseudocode, and she could learn more and more as she's learning right now Python and also web. So what are we going to do really quick, because we don't want to spend too much time. So we're going to insert this into a new file. We're going to save this. We're going to name it index demo. We'll go 23. I haven't tried this 23 times, right? So we're going to save that really quick. And then what we're going to do overall is we're going to go and open this in our browser. So let's go back into our browser then. And let's do one that we have done before. So this is just the index demo. And let's go in and put 23 in here. Whoops. We probably did like this. And there you go. So I'm going to go and trade some selected cars. You're probably going to see this better like this. What do you think we should trade? The 5 and the 6? I want to trade that, and there's a computer hand, and there's tied, so we could play again. I want to win. I don't want to tie. Let's see if we can do it again. There you go, computer wins. So a very simple application. So I could also do this in GitHub Spark as well and kind of play it. So what about, they like remixing. So what else can we do for them? And in my opinion, as they went on and over and playing this game, they're like, Daddy, I want to learn a little bit of, what's the next game you usually play? Blackjack, right? But then 21 got a little bit boring for them. So they're like, we're going to play this new game called 31. And I'm like, okay, how do you want to play 31? I don't even know what that is. So they told me the rules. So let me then just kind of show that to you as well, which is this. I just opened Workspace now here. And let me go and regenerate that. So my daughters want to remix this game a bit. Instead of 2 cars, to start, let's do 3. And instead of burst at 21, let's do at 31. We need to show some of the cars so it is easy to add the value of them and calculate it. And instead of the probability of winning, we should update it with probability of busting overall, just to kind of give them a little bit more instructional. So here's the brainstorm of generating that code. And one of the things I love about brainstorm is, again, that whole ability that you get to learn. We're creating this thing that is not about only generating code, but it's about learning. It's about creativity overall. So you can see the proposed solution, and then the files change that it did. So if we go back, bust probability, that is right. Hand value, calculate hand value, that is right as well. And if I go here, one other thing that I wanted to show you is even things like this. So my daughter can now go and say, learn about probability of calculation in card games. So then we go then and show you what that looks like at the end. And this is it. So we're going to hit Remember, we're playing 31 now. Should I stay or should I hit? Plus probability 99, so I'm gonna stand. We won that one. Let's do restart. I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna hit again. I busted. One more time, and that's it. So you get the idea overall. Now the girls are having fun, and when I'm traveling and I miss them, then I could play these silly games to remind myself of them. Now, more importantly, the other day, Thea was on the balance beam. Let's go back into, okay. The other day, Thea was on the balance beam, and yes, we have one at home. Don't ask me why. I went on a trip, and I came back, and all of a sudden, a big Amazon box was waiting for me, if that has ever happened to you. And Lexa told her, Thea, what is the probability of you falling? To which Thea replied, with any luck, it's very, very close to 0. And that really warmed my heart, because that is what it's all about. It's about the GitHub Copilot platform allowing me to create, build, and deploy a simple personal game that brought us together and gave my daughters a chance to express their creativity. Next, you're going to hear about collaboration at enterprise scale, and we will end with a surprise announcement so stay with us at the end. And with that, I want to invite the amazing Maya Ross to the stage. Take it away, Maya.
All right. So hi, everybody. I'm Maya. You know, playing cards is a tradition in my family, too. We play it every Christmas. But I just want you all to know that we are not really the gambling types, unlike Mario and his young children. But I'm here today to tell you about an experience that I've had recently with my team. You know, my job at GitHub is to build things that you all love. Well, you know, at least I hope that you do. And sometimes we just nail those out fast, just like Mario just did with that game of poker. But at other times, you know, we've had an idea, we've heard a request from you, and it didn't feel easy to make it happen. It felt hard for some reason. We couldn't see that clear path. And I've had one of those ideas for a little while now, something that's become kind of a little dream of mine, honestly, an obsession. And sitting down with my team a few months ago, we suddenly realized we actually had an easy way to build that idea. We had a technology, and we understood the need. Ooh. We just needed to use that technology in a new way. And before I tell you what that little idea was for me, I want you all to take a few seconds, it's participatory, and think of an idea like that for you, something that you really wanted to make happen that's felt hard. Maybe you found that path, maybe you haven't yet. Take 5. Okay, now hold that project in your mind, please. And my little dream was, drum roll please, policies at enterprise scale. Yes, stay with me, people. I'm a compliance geek, and I'm proud. And we wanted to make it happen for you today. So what do we do as a team? Well, we created it. Now, I was told that I'm not allowed to come up here and just talk about policies and compliance. So I thought instead, well, let me show you how we made my little dream come true. So we build GitHub on GitHub as much as we can GitHub. And here is our project board. So for this project, you can see we had 2 teams, a whole lot of features to build, and about 9 weeks to build it. And at GitHub, we break down all of our work into epics, features, and bugs, just like we have here. And we do that using our new sub-issue and issue type features that help us show the relationships between the different parts of our work and create a consistent terminology and language in how we track and analyze and plan our work. And that makes it super easy for me as a product manager to add tasks that match just how our teams work. So let's do that. Should we teach kids about, probability? This is kind of an investigation, but I will call that a task. And with a lot of work to do, we're also always looking for ways that we can move faster as a company, particularly now, of course, with the help of Copilot. So let's look at how Copilot is helping speed up our code reviews. This is a PR that our team raised earlier. Full disclosure, this is not actually real GitHub code, but we are talking about building a real GitHub feature. And as you can see, our newest team member, Copilot, has actually already reviewed this for us. Let's see what we've got. So, well, first, actually, advanced security in our CI checks found a vulnerability. This is effectively a cross-site scripting vulnerability. And Copilot has suggested a fix for that. Moving down, let's see what else we've got. OK, our Copilot code review has also found a, let's call this a stylistic issue. Yes, error is not a very useful error message, and we could improve it based on this suggestion. But I'm going to make that even better again and open this now in a workspace where I can just edit this. So let's make this error message, could not retrieve rule. Nice. And let's look at our other Copilot suggestions, like this autofix suggestion. Now, this is a pretty simple one, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply Copilot suggestion, and then commit my changes back up. So you can see here, we've got both our improved error message and our vulnerability fix in that commit. See, Copilot is helping us speed up our code reviews by finding and fixing necessary changes like that. And it's not just me standing up here on stage who can do things like that more quickly. If you take that example of a cross-site scripting vulnerability, we find that developers who use Copilot Autofix fix those vulnerabilities 7 times faster than those who don't. This is massively taking work and wait time away from our teams. But with all of these changes coming in, some from our team members, some from Copilot, how do we know that all of our code is still good? Well, of course, we have all of our checks running on actions. And while we're here, I want to show you one small but mighty detail of how we at GitHub today have our actions configured. We have them configured to run actions as immutable, fully semantically versioned actions. These are actions that are actually distributed as packages, which means that they can't be subject to injection attacks. This is a huge upgrade to the security of the actions ecosystem, and it's going to be rolling out to everybody over the next few months, starting in the next few weeks with us publishing all of the GitHub authored actions and actions from key partners as immutable actions. And if you have written and maintained an action and would like your action to be included in that first tranche that are published as immutable actions, you can register your interest through that link there. So just speaking of what we're shipping, how do people like Mario keep track of everything that's going on across GitHub? Well, we have portfolio views like this that show us everything we're shipping today, including many of the features we're highlighting right now. And including, of course, the feature of my dreams, enterprise rule sets. Yes, flexible and scalable policies are here, and my dreams can come true, and so can yours. Soon, all of our enterprise customers will be able to target policies across your companies like never before. Stay with me, people. This feature means that companies can set policies based on the attributes of repositories across thousands of organizations and repositories in one enterprise account, targeting those policies based on the custom properties of their repos. And hey, I know you probably think that compliance is boring, but think again about that project that I asked you to think of at the beginning of the talk. Now, wouldn't it suck if you had to wait weeks or months from sign-off from a compliance team just to create a secure repo? Well, with this feature, developers at companies will be able to create repositories that meet all of their company security and compliance requirements out of the box. So when you have an idea, you can just make it happen immediately. So that, honestly, is my little dream come true and how we're using GitHub and Copilot every day. And so I want to leave you with one final parting question, which is, what will your team make? And now, hand over to Robert Moore from Citi to tell you about how his team is creating on GitHub. Thank you very much.
Wow, good morning, GitHub Universe. Hello, my name is Robert Moore. I lead development at Citi and our efforts around modernizing tools, frameworks that support the development lifecycle. We needed to find and improve our tool sets, our approach, and even our culture. A key part of that transformation and how we aligned ourselves with a selection of GitHub Enterprise as a core service and GitHub as a partner. I am really happy to share that right now at the part of this journey, we are over 26,000 developers that are live in production that are benefiting both from GitHub Copilot, but this wonderful thing we call Copilot. It wasn't easy. What I'm going to do is share a little bit of that journey, why we selected GitHub, and the outcomes we achieved. We also share some of the results and the initial observations. I want to give you a little feel of the experience, how we approached it. So financial institutions are heavily regulated. We're very risk averse. Our approach to bringing in new technologies has to be very deliberate. To make large changes, we need a trusted ecosystem. We wanted a cloud-based offering, something that scaled ferociously, and it's provided by a partner that we could trust all the way through implementation. We knew what we wanted to provide developers: fully automated, repeatable solutions, integrated with CI/CD pipelines. They had to have safety nets, guardrails, the controls for compliance. So after an in-depth assessment, we did select GitHub as that partner. So technically, we knew what we wanted and what we needed to do. How was that question? So we started to establish this, and quickly we needed to internally align. So we established what in organization we called the Generative AI Task Force, and we were working under that task force. What we did first is GitHub Enterprise. We were in production with GitHub Enterprise. In December of 2022, something happened, an event. GitHub Copilot. Generative AI took all the oxygen, oxygen out of the room. So we saw that as a unique opportunity. We stepped back and we wanted to push forward with bringing in a generative AI assistant in our development environment for our users. So as we worked through the Generative AI Task Force and that assessment, we quickly moved to the realization we needed the right sponsorship. So we got that sponsorship at the top of the house. Executive-led decision makers from CTOs, CIOs, developer heads to be members of that task force, hands-on almost daily. We set that our tempo, we started small, we did testing. So as part of that risk oversight, we had to run through our model risk management reviews. We successfully completed 3 rounds, each one getting a little bigger, of A/B testing, so with and without Copilot. Those results confirmed our assumptions. We were seeing 10, 20, in some cases 30% improvement in time to complete the task. So it gave us a bit of a confidence to move forward with this enterprise rollout. We had a core team of about 8 resources. We didn't want to deviate from that, so we took a different approach. We ramped up within the development communities. We built a community of practice, we call it, and we used that community with what we called super users. We wanted to brand them, make them feel a part of it. So they drove adoption, they created best practices, training modules, how-tos, and we established this knowledge base. But in addition to that, we had clinics, really hands-on, driving competition. And when the developers contribute directly, they were a part of the change, a part of the reality of how best to use GitHub in Citi. It was much more positively received, if you will. This was, and the real game changer is, and it's human nature, we gamified it. So when you start the scorecard, everybody wants to know who's beating who, and that really took off. So everybody was involved. As we expanded this model with the community of practice, we engaged at every levels, every region, every business. Citi's quite big, so we had that competition drive that motivation. As we worked through this, we went through stages and we consistently measured the impact. Again, developer experience is paramount. Regular surveys, telemetry from productivity around our DORA metrics, reporting, are we getting better? Is this making a difference? How are the developers feeling? Some of the examples and feedback, I mean, there's hundreds of examples, just some of them, developers felt more in the flow of how they're working. If they're developing code, they're in the IDE, they don't have to go outside of the IDE. They get the answer and they move quicker. They're using it as a teacher. Some developers are actually using languages they've never used before. The junior developers really were excited because they were able to accomplish their task and they're actually getting more efficient from learning with Copilot. Repeatable tasks, and the senior developers actually were the bigger rock to move, a little bit hesitant, but once it was really understood that the mundane, automation, repetitive task, Copilot assistants removed that toil, they came on board. The journey of City continues with GitHub. We're aggressively trying to transform our community, our dev practices, and the experience of our developers. We feel like we're getting more agile. We believe we're in a better position. Based on these announcements this morning, I'm really happy about that because we do feel like we went with this SaaS offering. We're now in a better position to rapidly, responsibly roll out and take the benefit from these new functions at a greatly reduced time to market. We see generative AI as table stakes for our business, for our developers, to attract new talent, to maintain new talent. You know, developers just won't want to come work there. They are expecting this experience, especially the younger development communities. So this we see as a must for integration going forward for our developers to enable them to move at speed. So I've got to say, I feel very fortunate. At Citi, we have a commitment with executive level sponsorship to drive this vision of modernization across developer tools. They're really excited. There's always naysayers, there's always challenges. Sometimes it's just really hard, especially in a regulatory environment. I think we've demonstrated it is possible to introduce a generative AI in a very responsible, controlled fashion at scale. 26,000 developers actively using it is a fantastic milestone for us. With the right level of commitment, if you have that clear vision, you build your culture, you too can realize the reward and benefits for your organizations as well. I really appreciate your time today. I thank you for spending that time with me, and have a great GitHub Universe.
Thank you, Robert. As you can see, we made a lot of progress in supercharging the GitHub you already know and love with Copilot. But we're not stopping there. Beyond the GitHub platform, Copilot will enable an extended ecosystem of rich partnerships. Generally available in early 2025, Copilot extensions let you combine the power of Copilot with all of the tools that you know and love, as well as build your own for your enterprise. Again, it goes back into developer love and developer experience. We're unlocking the ability for you as developers to be able to stay in the flow as you generate tests in Sentry, get packaging insights with JFrog, or open a Jira ticket in Atlassian. So yes, I did say Jira. They're a sponsor out there, Atlassian, so give them some love too. And now you can also search the web for the latest documentation. So Copilot, does Copilot have a new partner? Yes, it does, and it is Perplexity. That's right. The AI-powered search engine is coming soon to GitHub Copilot Client. To share more about this partnership and what it means for developers, I would like to welcome Arvind, co-founder and CEO of Perplexity, to the stage. Arvind.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Perplexity's mission is to cater to the world's curiosity And when I think about GitHub's mission of accelerating human progress, it's easy to see how our partnership makes sense. With the ability to augment human creativity with the best that the open web has to offer, everything within GitHub's Copilot-powered developer platform, I think software development truly has no limits. Let's take a look at a quick demo. With Perplexity and GitHub, you will be able to stay up to date on all the latest library updates, like what are the latest updates in React? And then you just get an instant answer with web sources. Or you could ask a question like how to build a server-side component. And that's also going to get all the stuff on the web and give you an instant answer. Or you could also ask for API integration assistance, like how would I add a Perplexity API call? And all of this directly within the GitHub Copilot platform. So today, we are making this available to all the users of GitHub and Perplexity. And to get you started today, we're also excited to offer all the GitHub Universe attendees here, both in person and virtual, a free year of Consumer Perplexity Pro plan. And all the redemption details will be outlined to you in your Universe Day 1 recap email that will be sent to you later today. With Perplexity Pro, not only will you be able to use this Copilot extension, you'll also gain access to our advanced Pro Search, file analysis tools, all the cutting-edge AI models like Claude, GPT, and multiple AI image generation models. So we really can't wait to see what you will build with Perplexity and GitHub Copilot together. And thanks so much for having me here.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Arvind. This is great. So this is an incredible time to be in the industry, and I want to actually reflect a little bit on that. I mean, what you've seen today, I have never seen in my 20 years. Like the power of innovation coming out with these new AI LLMs and the capabilities, what we could actually do with it. So 8 years ago, the GitHub Flow was the cutting edge to collaborate and build. We didn't have code reviews yet. You had to comment line by line on files, and AI was still science fiction. So now, look at us. We're not just merging PRs, we're changing the way developers bring ideas to life, make it impossible possible, and help their companies innovate at scale. I do want to end kind of with a provocative thought to you all. And that is that the status quo is that coding today is in procedures, it's still in text files, and it's in a sequential programming model. Still in procedures, text files, and sequential programming model. That has not changed for a while. Our mission at GitHub is to accelerate human progress with the aim of creating 1 billion developers. That's 10% of the world population if you count by 2030. And to get there, we're going to have to challenge that status quo. We believe the industry will see a paradigm shift in how we think about code. And in the not-too-distant future, developers will rely more and more on specialized agents to complete different tasks and workflows. And natural language, which is the beauty of what we are today, and what could actually propel us to those next billion developers to create software. I mean, you saw me create something really quick for my girls. I did that in Spark, I did that in VS Code, and I did that in Copilot Workspace. You saw Maya kind of rounded up with all the power of the GitHub platform. Now you see this very rich extensibility model that we have today and the powerful network effects that that can create. So it's our commitment. Things won't change if we actually don't keep innovating. And we need to keep, again, developer choice and developer experience at the heart, because that's how we enable these creators, these innovators, to stay in control. I want to thank you for being with us this morning. There's a landscape of opportunity in front of us right now, and I'm looking forward to shaping that and the future with all of you. Thanks.